Hello my friends. So today I decided to make this video about number synchronicities, specifically the master numbers 11, 22, and 33, as well as 111 or 1111, 222, and 333. I want to share the meanings of these numbers, at least the meanings that I've found in my research, as well as what they mean to me, or the energy that I get, or the lesson or the meaning that I get from these numbers when I see them or start seeing them repeatedly. Numbers, I do believe that there's a spiritual meaning behind numbers. Numbers have been around longer than we have existed. Goes back to, 3100 BC in Egypt. So I do believe that there is a spiritual meaning to numbers. I also believe that creation, whether you want to call it God or you want to call it your angels, the universe, communicates with us through numbers. That I do believe. So let's start with number 11. Now, master number 11 is the most intuitive number. Number 11 is associated with spiritual awakening, enlightenment, intuition. And number 11 also is associated with the highest spiritual perception. So the way I see it, it's like a link to human and spirit, like it's a link to the spirit world. I've read and I've heard that when people first start to awaken, they start to see 11 all the time. And that was not the first number that I saw. I would see 22 a lot. But I still do have a very interesting relationship with number 11. I never knew until last year. I found out that my life path number is 11. I didn't know that. And number 11 has been around a lot of times in my life, and I wasn't aware of it. Now, if you want to know your life path number, you can look it up. You can look online for life path calculator or something, and you'll find what your life path number is. There's plenty of places to find it, plenty of ways to figure it out with adding up the birthday. If you look into it, you'll also find out why 11, 22, and 33 are master numbers. And I don't want to get into me explaining all of that and telling you how to add up your life path number. That's just a bit too much. I want to stick to the point of the video. So life path number 11. So I didn't know that was my life path number. And it wasn't until after I started going through this awakening that I then thought back and just one day was just thinking about my addresses, because there was a number, which I said 22 was one of the numbers I would always see. One day I just decided to add up my address numbers and just play around with it and see what it was. And I come to realize that all of the addresses that I ever lived in Miami before moving were associated with the number 11. The first home I lived in and I grew up in as a little girl, 13115 was the address. That adds up to 11. The next place I moved, 731, that adds up to 11. The next place I lived was 1104 was the address. It was on the 11th floor. And then the last place I lived, which is the last place I lived before moving, before going through this awakening, the place I lived when I met my soulmate, met my husband, the address was 236, which adds up to 11, and the street was 111th Street. So I didn't notice any of this. It's like these numbers have been around. It seems like trying to get my attention for a long time, and I didn't notice that until after going through an awakening. Now, for me, what 11 means to me, when I see 11, I feel like 11 is telling me to tap into the power of number 11. It's telling me to focus on my intuition and focus on who I am, because that's my life path number. So it's not necessarily going to mean the same thing for me that it means for you, but that's what I get from it. For me, it's kind of like focus on who you are. Tap into the power of that master number. That's to me what I feel when I see 11. Now, when I see 111 or 1111, to me, I feel like that number means that I'm rising to a higher level of awareness or a higher level of consciousness. To me, that's what I think I get from seeing 1111 or 111. I think I started seeing 1111 more so after already knowing that I'm going through an awakening. I started to see it then, but it didn't start off with 1111. It started off with 22. And so let's move on to the next number, 22. Now, 22 has made itself very present in my life. Very present in my life. That's the reason why the name of this channel is Divine Harmony 22. Well, my husband helped me come up with the name, but the 22, that it had to be in there because that number has been all around throughout my life. Now, master number 22 is actually the most powerful number. So 11 is the most intuitive and 22 is the most powerful. Master number 22 is associated with harmony, balance, partnerships, relationships, service, duty, what else? Accomplishment, evolution. So that's what makes it a very powerful number. Now, another thing that I repeatedly see about number 22 is that the energy of number 22 is that it has the ability to turn your dreams into reality. Now, 22 has been around me all my life. Number one, my birthday is on 10/22, okay, October 22nd. I grew up the same house that I said I grew up as a child. 13115 was the address, which added up to 11. The street we were on, it was 22nd Court is what we lived on. But then behind our house, very busy, popular avenue in Miami, 22nd Avenue. That's where I grew up. And that was the beginning of me seeing this number, aside from it being the 22nd, my birthday being the 22nd of October. Also, I had my first daughter at the age of 22. And before I started really going through this awakening, I would see, or I was going through an awakening but didn't know it, I would see 22 all the time. I would look at the time and see my birthday all the time. It would be 10/22. I would just so happen to just glance at the clock at that moment all the time. More recently, I started seeing the time more of 2/22 and on license plates and things like that, where it would just stick out, or the change I get back at the store is $2.22. And it's like, it will be like a lot of times that I would see these 222 or 22 in one day. So this 22 has made itself very present in my life. I feel like it means that I am more powerful than I think I am. So for me, the 22 is I'm on the right track, and to focus on tapping into your power. When it comes down to 222, when I see that, I feel like 222 is telling me to create balance, harmony, and peace in all areas of my life. Family, friendships, work, everything. I feel like the 222 is kind of like a message to focus on harmonizing everything in my life. Being positive or just creating peace when you are probably going through some rough times. That's what I feel like the 222 means to me. Now, very interesting thing, the 22s and the 2222, 4 twos, 6 twos. This is what really blew my mind one day. And this is before I even knew that I was going through any kind of awakening. This is after we moved. When we first moved, my husband and I, we were buying things for the house and everything. And one night, I think I needed to pay a bill, car note or something. So I decided to transfer some money because we spent more than we planned to. So I went to transfer some money from savings into checking. When I made the transfer, the amount that landed in the checking account was $2,222.22. When I saw that kind of like, it's almost like I felt something. It to me was like this number was screaming at me, like, pay attention, pay attention. That's what I got from that. So that is, to me, the number, the twos. Those are the numbers that really made me awaken. Not to mention my husband, his birthday is 9/2. So he's September 2nd and I'm 10/22. It's funny how that sequence is. And our daughter, my youngest, her life path number is 22. So this 22 has made itself very present in my life. And as I'm going through this awakening, I'm pretty sure I'll learn more of exactly why that is. I don't feel that there's any coincidence that this number made itself so present in my life for so many years. And that's number 22. So just to recap, the What the 22 means to me is that I'm on the right track and I'm more powerful than I think, and that the 222 is to focus on balance, harmony, and peace in all areas of my life. Now, number 22 is also called the Master Builder. Now let's move on to number 33. So Master number 33 is the most influential number. Master number 33 is the Master Teacher. Number 33 is associated with maturity, your life path, courage, discipline, expression, and inspiration. And it's also associated with the Ascended Masters. Now, when I see 33, to me, what I get from it is that I need to be more creative. I need to express myself. And I feel like it means that I need to have discipline and have courage. That's what I feel when I see 33. Now, when I see 333, this to me feels like at that moment, I am connected to my angels or the Ascended Masters or a higher power. I feel like I'm connected at the moment that I see 333. That's the energy. That's just what I feel. Now, something really interesting happened with an experience of mine with number 333. I'm allergic to black hair dye. So one day I decided to dye, found this henna. It's called henna. So it was supposed to be totally natural and nothing happens. It doesn't have chemicals and stuff like that. So I decided to use it. And obviously it wasn't very natural because I woke up in the middle of the night. My head felt like it was on fire and it was itching. I mean, like, I'm allergic to black hair dye where it will swell my head and something about the darkness in the color, whatever. So I wake up with my head burning and it's like, okay, I already know what will happen. If I wait until the morning, I probably have a swollen head. So let me rush to the hospital. I went to the emergency room in the middle of the night, told my husband and everything, I'm going to slide on out of here. And I didn't want to bother anybody or wake anybody up. It felt such a simple thing for me to do. So I went to the emergency room, and this hospital was so peaceful. Maybe it's because I'm not in Miami anymore, but it was just quiet, and it just felt, the energy of it just felt nice. The people were so nice, and it was like empty, and it was just peaceful. I felt happy when I was there. Now, who's happy when you get up in the middle of the night because your head is burning from dye and you're going to get like a shot so that you can get help with an allergic reaction? Who's happy for that? But I felt good when I was there. So I felt happy. I was just like, it just feels nice energy here. And they sent me to the room. I don't remember my room number. Excuse me. As I was saying, I don't remember my room number, but I remember sitting on the bed in the room, and I looked over at this little screen. They have a screen there that has, your check-in time and all this stuff. And my check-in time was 3:33. It was 3:33 in the morning. And I'm like, wow. But I just felt so at peace in there. And so to me, that goes right along with what I feel sometimes when I see 333. I feel like I'm connected right at that moment to my angels, my ancestors, the spirit world. I just feel that connection when I see 333. Another very interesting thing that happened to me, I went to the crystal shop one time. I was buying my crystals, which I usually do. When I was there, I think it was blue calcite or blue celestite, one of these crystals that I had in my hand. I dropped it and it broke in half. So I picked it up and I put it back in the dish with the other crystals, and I took a different one and left. Now, when I bought that one and I left, and when I'm driving down the road, for some reason, I just felt like I was doing something wrong. It felt like I was abandoning the crystal that broke. Listen, bear with me and my thought process, okay? I don't know why I felt this way, but I felt bad, like I was doing something wrong. So I'm like, I'm going back. Turned around, drove back to the shop, and I even told the girl when I was in there, I was like, I dropped this when I was in here, and for some reason, something's telling me that I just have to come back and get it. It was like I'm doing the crystal where I dropped it, and I treated it like it was nothing and got another one. I don't know what was going on with me that day, but that's how I felt. So she said, well, thank you for coming back. And so when she went to ring up the crystal for me, for some reason, like in this store, you get like a credit. You have when you purchase things, they'll give you a credit towards your next purchase. So I had a credit of like $1 and change. She asked me if I wanted to use it. I said, yeah, go ahead. But for some reason, it wouldn't go through. She said every time she tried to put it in, it wouldn't add or, wouldn't take away from my total. I said, okay, don't worry about it. I'll use it next time. I'll pay regular price for it. It's only a few bucks. So the price for the crystal came up to $3.33. So that was interesting. And even she said, she's like, wow. She's like, that's an interesting number. She said, that means they're probably congratulating you for coming back, which I thought was really interesting. I find it very funny that for some strange reason, the credit that I had wouldn't go through. If it would have went through, then I wouldn't have seen the price. The price wouldn't have been $3.33. So these type of things to me, they all have meaning. It all means something. It's very interesting to me, and I'm pretty sure to a lot of you out there. I think I'll probably do some videos later on more numbers that I've seen, like the 444, 555, and even the 77, which is my birth year. I was born in 77, so I see 77 a lot. But I hope this video helped. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching once again, and until next time, peace and blessings.